What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another Good Morning Tottenham. And yes, you know what time it is. It is North London Derby weekend. It is upon us now. We've got the long wait until Sunday, until the old enemy kick-off, 4:30 kick-off at the Emirates. And we have to get a result this weekend, guys. We have to beat them. We have to put them in their place. And, you know, after the last couple of years, a couple of Emirates no-shows, it's so important that we turn up this year. It really is. We need some positivity to seep through this fan base once again. But just before we get into the preview and stuff like that, I want to talk about Tracy Crouch's fan-led review, because it came out over the last week or so that it looks as though the Premier League will be trialling safe standing back in grounds. It looks as though, you know, we were at Wolves the other night. You could see the bars all over the stand behind the goal. They're all over there at the Tottenham Stadium as well. I've seen them in stadiums like West Ham, seen at Old Trafford. I mean, they really are gearing up now for the return of safe standing. But there's been some more added to that today. And, you know, since 1985, there's been a ban on drinking inside stadiums. So fans have been drinking in pubs before the game, after the game, in concourses before the game, after the game, at half-time. But now, apparently, Tracy Crouch is trying to bring drinking back into the stands at football. We've seen in Germany, they do it really well there in Germany. Fans are kind of drinking throughout the game. Smoking as well. Doesn't seem to be too much trouble. But this is what Tracy Crouch had to say on it. And she said, "Our view on alcohol and football is outdated. It's not helped when you see all the scenes like we did at Wembley, but that's why I would pilot it first. Let's get the data. My view is not some kind of altruistic view that fans should be able to drink at football. It's also about allowing clubs to be able to sustain themselves. We can look at things like the independent regulator as part of this process, but football has to take a bit of responsibility for itself and sustain itself better. We kettle people into drinking quickly at half-time, and that is the unhealthy aspect of football's fans' relationship with alcohol. They drink a lot in a short space of time, so my recommendation is to pilot this and not have to down a pint at half-time."
You know a lot about this, don't you?
Yes, I do know a lot about this. But look, in terms of like them saying, yeah, it's going to stop people trying to down pints at half-time. Now people are just going to be downing pints throughout the game and during the first half and the second half.
Like, as a fan who likes to drink at the game, if they allowed you to drink while in the view of the stadium, do you think it will help you in terms of like, will you drink less throughout the whole 90 minutes? Like maybe spread out your drinking?
That's what they're saying.
What do you think?
That's what they're saying.
Would it for you? Or does that mean the more the merrier? More time to drink? And then that means you get more pints in?
Well, I think, first of all, obviously, the more the merrier.
Obviously.
The more the merrier will definitely go down a treat. But I think what it'll definitely change is me being able to see the whole game, first of all, not missing any Chelsea goals. But to be honest, I probably prefer the prior to that one and miss the Chelsea goals. No, I'm joking. But I think when we've been away in Europe and we've drunk throughout the kind of game, I think it actually makes us drink less, because, you know, you're in the concourses and you're drinking pint after pint after pint, and then when you get inside the actual ground, you have one drink when you go inside the ground, and you make that drink last for quite a while instead of going down and getting another one, going down and getting another one. You know what I mean? So maybe it actually might make you drink a bit less. Because, you know, you're stuck inside the ground. You're not stuck there, but, you know, you're not keep going down for more drinks and more drinks and more drinks. Yeah,
I think that's the thinking behind it. And I think, it's first of all, they're saying they're only going to trial it for in the, where is it? Where did they say they're trialing it? Nations League South and League 2. That's what they're trialing it for the time being, and then they're going to take it maybe further. But I think that's right. There's no reason why, if you're at a non-league game, you shouldn't be able to have a pint while watching the game. Yeah. I think it's so stupid that I can maybe understand it in terms of like Premier League and stuff for the time being, or what led to that, because of the hooliganism and everything like that. Like, it usually was with a lot of the clubs like in the top division. But I think, when it comes to, like, you know, there's literally 100 fans there, and like you're not allowed to have a pint while watching the game. I think that's so outdated.
It is, and also having a pint during the game and stuff, what Tracy Crouch is saying, it can really help these kind of level of teams with the revenue, because all their revenue really comes from like match day revenue in terms of the way people buy their food, buy their drinks, buy the merchandise and stuff like that. So it can really help the kind of lower end of football. So I'm all for this, to be honest. I really am all for this.
It says a team in the Tracy Crouch was saying, if a team in the Nations League Premier gets promoted, it effectively stops generating revenue during a game. They said openly in evidence to us that they cannot afford to get promoted because of the rules around alcohol. So imagine you getting all this revenue from serving alcohol during a game, then you get promoted to a league where you can't drink alcohol during a game, then all of a sudden your revenue stops. Even though you've so good to get promoted, you actually can't make any money.
Yeah,
and that must be such a difficult position to be in for a club like that. So I think it's good to trial it. I think hooliganism around football is not a bit as big as issues it used to be.
Yeah, exactly.
There's still bits and pieces. But
when they brought this rule in 1985. Hooliganism was so rife in the English game, right? It was you couldn't kind of get past it. It was literally everywhere you looked in the footballing game, especially in the top flight. Now, yeah, there is still an element of it, but it's vastly the minority. It really is vastly the minority. And yeah, you're going to get a few idiots. You get a few idiots anyway, whether you drink in the stadium or not drink in the stadium. So I don't think you can not bring it back just because of a few idiots, pretty much.
Do you think there'll ever become a situation where someone's about to take a penalty and he gets a pint thrown in his face?
That's the thing that's definitely going to happen. I think that when you looked at like all the scenes when England score in the Euros and the World Cup, and you see beers flying everywhere, that's going to happen. That's going to happen, especially with the safe standing as well.
Yeah, safe standing with add drinking to that. I can definitely see scenes like that. But I don't know. It should add to the scenes as well. But whether people will abuse it, I hope not. And I think football fans in this day, I don't know, in this day and age, are a lot calmer than they used to be. So I think it probably would be a positive step in the right direction, giving fans a bit more, not responsibility, but allowing them to enjoy the game with a pint more than just like having that policy. I think it's a positive step, and the safe stand is also a positive step. And I'm glad that these issues are getting addressed, and maybe in the future it can lead to a better because the atmospheres, we all know in the Premier League, it's been widely known, the atmospheres are not as good as they used to be.
Dying year on year out.
Yeah, as it become more corporate and all these things. So I think these are steps in the direction where maybe we can get atmospheres back in, better atmospheres back in the Premier League, and it creates for a better product as well.
Do you think this is a step forward in terms of fans reclaiming the kind of sport a little bit? Safe standing back in grounds, being able to drink back in grounds. I mean, that's what we've commended. Well, not all of it, but that's what we've commended Germany for in terms of how they run their football. Yeah,
but look at the prices of the game in Germany. You know what I mean? Until it's affordable for more working class people, then no, it's not. Fans aren't going to reclaim the sport until that kind of happens. Until the issue of making it all very corporate and pricing fans out of the game, until that issue is sorted out, you can't say fans are anywhere near reclaiming the sport.
Yeah, no, I agree that they haven't reclaimed it, but it's definitely a step in the right direction, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a step in the direction of fans reclaiming the sport, but I think it's a step in the direction of a better experience for fans. I would say that.
Okay. Well, look, that's our kind of take on the Tracy Crouch's fan-led review. We're massively in favour of it. I want to know your opinions in the comment section below. But let's move on and let's talk about the massive game this weekend at the Emirates. 4:30 kickoff, and I cannot wait. It's the North London derby. It's the fixture that we all look forward to every year. Not as much as Arsenal do, because it's their cup final now, as opposed to it is used to be Tottenham's, but now it's Arsenal's. But let's have a look at how we're both shaping up this season. Tottenham 7th in the league so far, Arsenal 13th. Had complete polar opposite starts the first 3 games of the season, didn't we?
Yeah.
We lost... we won 3 games to 0. They lost and didn't score for 3 games. But since then, things have changed a little bit. Arsenal have come back with 2 wins. We've come back with 2 losses against Chelsea and Crystal Palace. How do you kind of assess Arsenal, how they've been since the international break with these two wins?
Obviously, it's been better, but they had, like, playing Burnley and Norwich, 2 teams who I believe are in the relegation zone, right, at the moment, or very low down the table. So it's 2 perfect fixtures for them, and they only scraped by with 1-0 victories. I know against Norwich, they did dominate and had a lot of chances on goal, and probably could have been more than the 1-0. Against Burnley, I think, from what I saw, I didn't think they were particularly impressive at all. I think they got, obviously, the goal with a free kick, really good free kick from Odegaard. But other than that, Burnley will probably feel like they should have got a point out of that game, and a point would have been probably a fair result. So I wouldn't say they're coming to this game in sparkling form, but definitely with 3 wins on the trot, including the Carabao Cup, they're definitely building a bit of momentum and good feeling amongst the squad. I'm sure that they're going to come into this game thinking that they can definitely win this game, and that they're a bit in form. But I'm hoping that they a bit too confident. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping they're too confident.
I don't think there's any confidence within this Arsenal fan base at the moment. I really don't. I can't see it.
I don't think there's much confidence, but with Partey back from injury, I think, and with 3 wins on the bounce without conceding a goal, despite the opposition, I reckon it could give them a false sense of maybe they're in better form than they think they are, in a weird sense, after obviously stopping the rot of 3 defeats in a row. And despite the fact that despite the fact that they had such a bad start to the season, I think with those results, there probably is a bit amongst the squad. I reckon there is a bit of a good feeling there, and they probably feel like they're in a probably in decent form. Like going into this game, and they're probably looking at us thinking, 2 3-0 defeats on the bounce, drew against Rennes, could only beat Wolves on penalties. So they're probably thinking Spurs are in terrible form. We've got to take the game to them and try and win the game. And that's what I hope, because I think if the game is open, I think we can definitely take it to them. And I think we've got the superior of talent, the better squad. I think defensively we're much more aggressive and physical than they are, in my opinion. Despite that, I think in a weird way, with Tomiyasu and Tierney, they might have better players on the flanks. I do think we have better centre-backs than they do, in my opinion. So it's going to be an interesting battle, but it's all about if Ndombele starts, it's all about last season he got bullied by Partey in the centre. And it's all about Ndombele showing what he can do in this one. Because last season he didn't get on the ball at all, wasn't able to do any kind of moments of magic in the centre, and Partey was just able to get stuck in and bully him. And we have to make sure that doesn't happen again in this one.
Yeah, definitely. And what is it about the Emirates? Because when you bring up the form, the last 5 games, you can take it a lot further than this. But let's bring up the form of the last 5 games. We've at the Emirates, we just never show up. Why? What is it about Spurs and Arsenal at the Emirates? Because we've had a better team than them for a few years now. What is it about us going to the Emirates? Why we never show up? Because when you look at our home form, their home form, in terms of when we play each other, it usually is the home side that usually comes on top. Otherwise, it's a draw. What is it about Tottenham being at home and Arsenal being at home that makes each team kind of more likely to come on top? Obviously, you got the fans in the stadium and stuff like that, and the fans winning them on. But even when there was no fans in the stadium, we came out on top when we were at home. So, what is it about this fixture that the home team always comes out on top pretty much?
I just think whenever you're at home, it's just that added bit of motivation to not get beat. You don't want to get beat by your biggest rivals in your own ground. And I think, especially in the case for Arsenal, they definitely seem to up their game when Spurs comes to town. That's 100% true. I think we've seen that for a number of years.
It's like the old West Ham thing, isn't it?
I remember that year under Unai Emery when they were nothing special, and then they came up against us. They beat us 4-2, and then they went on like a bad run again, because they got overexcited. It just seems to be such an I think before, when Arsenal, obviously we also had a long run before when we weren't very good at the Emirates, but I think before Arsenal used to see this game as obviously they want to win it, and it was important, but it was a bit more like playing your younger brother, like your annoying younger brother at football in the garden or something.
Yes, I know that a lot. Don't worry, I know that well. I know that well too often.
They're I'm sure you want to win, but like it's so easy. They don't even care that much about it. They just like easily turn up and like win the game. But now it's like a different kettle of fish for them. Now it's literally their biggest game of the season because of how badly things have gone for them over the last decade or so. And it's now become such a big game where it's definitely on a level playing field from where Spurs saw this fixture 10 years ago for them. And Spurs, if you remember, always used to up their game when Arsenal came to town. Back in the day, and we used to we didn't used to win many games, but remember when Arsenal were invincibles and where they used to be title challengers, they used to come to Tottenham.
It was a draw more often than not.
Yeah, exactly. More often than not, they wouldn't win. They would get a draw, and Tottenham would be bottom half side, very mediocre. And still would get results. And I think we're seeing the same with Arsenal. Like, obviously they're not as bad as maybe Tottenham were yet, or getting there hopefully, but they're getting there. But I think at the moment,
to be honest, there was periods where we were 7th, 8th, 9th, and stuff like that. So there definitely are comparisons to be had there.
Yeah, and at the moment, whenever we come to town, Arsenal are definitely up their game, and that's why I've got no doubt in my mind that Arsenal are going to bring the A game. And also nowadays they got a lot more young talent coming through the youth, like Saka and Smith Rowe and people like that, who probably means a lot more to them than players of the past, like when they had other players in this fixture, foreign players who maybe didn't understand the rivalry as much or didn't feel it as much. So that's why I'm thinking for sure they're gonna be at their best. But we have to make sure we match that intensity, we match that energy, and we're also at our best. And we turn up to this North London derby with fight and grit, and that's why I want to see. That's why I want to see Skip and Højbjerg in the centre with Ndombele, because I feel like with Skip and Højbjerg there, we're not going to get bullied. We're going to make, especially with Skip. I think Skip is going to be very important in this game because he's going to have that real fight in him. Because he knows what he's probably means. So, like for Skip to be playing a North London derby, he's going to cherish that. I really believe that he's going to really fight for it for the badge on Sunday if he starts, and I think we're going to need that kind of passion.
Completely agree. I mean, we're going to need it in abundance on the weekend because, like you say, they always turn up to this fixture, literally always. And a few years ago we were 2-0 up at half time, drew 2-2. Last year it was a complete no-show at the Emirates, like literally complete no-show. And even in that year that we drew 2-2, we were rubbish that day. We were rubbish that day, and we were lucky to be 2-0 up at half time, really. Like last year under Jose Mourinho, we just weren't in that game at all. Literally, it was the most poorest game. But assessing Arsenal right now, I mean, a lot of fans, a lot of pundits, everyone likes to clown on them a lot, and I'm loving every second of it. I'm not going to lie, but is the squad as bad as people say it is?
I think when you look at their squad, I think it all depends. It all depends for Arsenal about their big players. If Aubameyang has as bad a year as he did last year, and if Pepe sees no signs of improvement, and if Partey is going to stay on the injury table more often than not.
He's looked all right the last couple of games.
He has. I think Partey's decent when he plays, but he just doesn't play that much.
Yeah.
It all depends on their big players. I think it depends how it goes. I do because I think the rest of the team, like as much as Smith Rowe's a decent player, I don't think he's any better than what some other teams in and around them have to offer. Like for example, Maddison or people like that. I don't think he's much better if he's better at all than those kind of players.
I don't think he's better than Maddison.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like other creative midfielders in and around. Who they're challenging, does Smith Rowe get in their team? Odegaard, decent player. Is he that much better than what other teams have to offer? The defensive wise, I think White and Gabriel, decent players, but do they get into like a lot of teams who they're challenging?
I was speaking to an Arsenal fan last night, and he was telling me that Gabriel is better than Dyer and Sanchez.
I don't think he is. I don't think he is. I don't think he's a bad player, Gabriel. He's young as well, so being as good as Dyer at his age or Sanchez is maybe you can say he has scope to improve. But like when I see him up against Sanchez, I don't see a big difference. I see two physical defenders who make mistakes pretty much. I think it's the same thing. I think they're pretty much
I completely agree.
Similar level.
I completely agree with that.
Like I think Gabriel as well can be too rash as well. So, okay, occasionally I see him make quite a few mistakes. And I think with Gabriel, I think a bit like us with a few players who like in the past, like they want him to be that new centre back leader for them so badly that they overlook sometimes when he does bad things. Maybe a bit like when we first like came up with when Ndombele first came in or something like that. Like you overlook maybe some things that you should that are problems with him, and you think, oh, this guy is one of the best and he's so good. Look at this good performance against Burnley. Look how good he is. But then he does a lot of mistakes, which you just put it down to him being young and all these things. When actually maybe he's actually not as good as you think just yet. That's just the reality.
Yeah.
Ben White. Good player, played well for Brighton. I just question as a partnership, White and Gabriel, whether they've got the leadership experience and physicality to compete with the top six and to really drive Arsenal, stop them from conceding goals and making mistakes and stuff like that. I doubt it. I really do doubt it. I think they're two talented centre backs in their own right. I don't think they're good enough in certain aspects to have Arsenal challenging. I think they're going to make too many mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree with that, actually, word for word. And I couldn't put it better myself. But in terms of Ben White, like, yes, he's had a great year at Brighton, great year before that at Leeds in the Championship. But to come into a club like Arsenal, surely he needs like an experienced head next to him.
If Arsenal played a back three, and if he had Ben White, Gabriel, maybe a proper leader,
or even if David Luiz was still there,
potentially even David Luiz, like I think he would be a lot better signing. But when you're signing him to play a back four, which he's not that used to, and he played for Brighton last season, who finished obviously a good team. They finished in the bottom half of the table. Like, I don't think he has that. I don't know whether he has it or not, but we haven't yet seen him be like a proper leader. He's always had Lewis Dunk next to him, who is also a proper leader in that centre of defence for Brighton. Like, we haven't seen Ben White be that imposing leader who can like organise the defence and be the main man. We've just seen him like being part of a solid defensive unit with Brighton and be a good cog for them. But he wasn't the main man. Like, Dunk was always more important to Brighton than Ben White was. Ben White was a utility man who could play centre mid, he could play centre back, and he was pretty good in all those roles.
And also earmarked as like one for the future.
Yeah, but he was never like, this guy is like leading their back line. Look how much leadership he's showing or responsibility. Like, he's a supplemental defender. He's a defender you play with someone else who can do a good job. And I don't think he can be your number one centre back. I'm just doubtful. Well, right now anyway. Maybe he can grow into it. I don't feel like he's ready for that role right now. I think we saw that on the opening day of the season, how badly he got bullied by the Brentford back line. And I think that was evident of how he's just not ready just yet. To have that leadership role. He's still very young. I'm sure he'll have time, but I think on Sunday Harry Kane has to get on him. I really believe that. Harry Kane has to bully him and show him who's boss. That's the key because I think Gabriel's quite physical. He's going to take on Kane, but I think Kane could really get to White. I really believe that.
What do you make of the Arsenal goalkeeping situation? Because obviously Leno, he's been number one for the last couple of years now. Mm-hmm. Didn't do that badly. Leno obviously did make a couple of mistakes here and there, but he wasn't that bad.
Wasn't horrific, yeah.
Something's happened, and they've brought in Ramsdale. And if I would have compared the two keepers before this season, I would have said Leno's the better keeper than Ramsdale.
Well, his fact of the matter is Leno's got 1 year left and he hasn't signed. So I think they're planning without him. So
why didn't they sell him in the summer, or try to sell him in the summer or something? Maybe they did. We don't know that.
Yeah, I don't know what the situation is. I just think we all know. Obviously, he started the season as number one keeper, Leno. But I just think that they think he potentially isn't going to sign a new contract, or he's mulling over it or whatever it is. And I think he's wrong side of 30, I believe. Well, no, actually, he's quite young, isn't he, Leno? He's maybe late 20s, early 30s. Like, I don't think he's
29.
29. Okay, so he's not too old. But I think maybe if they're worried he's not going to sign, so they started planning without him. I did think they overpaid for Ramsdale. I think
just a bit.
I think big time they overpaid for Ramsdale. I don't think he's a terrible keeper. I just don't think he's anything he's that great at all.
Like
Like
every club he joins gets relegated.
yeah. I mean, I don't,
Literally.
yeah, I mean, I don't think
Quite
I
literally.
don't think it's all his fault, but for example, Sheffield United, like they replaced Henderson with him, and he was a massive downgrade on Dean Henderson. Massive downgrade.
Yeah.
Like Henderson was a lot better than him for Sheffield United. When he played for Bournemouth, again, like he was good for a relegated side, but like for a team who wants to achieve where Arsenal want to be back, which is challenging back for top 4 or top 6, like. Does Ramsdale get into any of the top 6 teams?
No, of course he doesn't.
I can't think of any.
I think,
team
look,
he gets
Leno's got
into.
more of a chance of getting in than Ramsdale, that's for sure. And I've always felt like Ramsdale gets beaten way too easily from range.
Yeah, that's also
Always
true.
felt like that.
We've always scored a lot of goals against Ramsdale as well. When we faced
Well,
him
let's
usually.
hope the trend continues this weekend.
Although I'm pretty sure, funnily enough, I think Ramsdale got man of the match against Tottenham on his debut.
For who? For Sheffield United?
Bournemouth,
For Bournemouth.
I believe. Oh, it was that game when we went down to 9 men.
Oh, that game.
Yeah, I think because I remember
What
Spurs.
was it Foyth and Son got sent off?
Yeah.
I think?
Spurs, like for the first half an hour, had like about 5 or 6 amazing chances, and Ramsdale was having a great game. And then Son got sent off, and it completely changed the game, and we end up losing. But I remember, I'm pretty sure that was Ramsdale's debut, and he got man of the match.
It was late in the season, though.
Yeah, it was like one of the last games of the
Yeah.
season. of that season.
Was Artur Boruc their number 1 at the time? Who was their number 1?
Not sure, potentially.
But look, when you're kind of assessing the two starting 11s, Arsenal and Spurs, we've both had similar starts to the season now, pretty much 3 points in it to split us.
Yeah.
How many of these Arsenal players get in to the Spurs team?
All right, so looking at it, I think Lloris gets there ahead of Ramsdale, obviously. Looking at the back 4,
I put Tierney in there.
Tierney
I think
ahead of
Tierney's a better
Reguilon.
left back than Reguilon.
I think Tierney right is a better left back than Reguilon. Reguilon's got a couple years on him in terms of age. I do think that Reguilon actually might in terms of like pace and defensively could be better than Tierney. But Tierney, when he goes forward, he's got a serious ability with those crosses. So I think it's a tight one. I think it's a tight one, but at the moment Tierney probably goes in there. I think Romero gets in there. And I think Romero, and I don't know, do I put Gabriel in there? I'm not 100% sure.
Well, you were saying to me before you prefer Sanchez and Dyer to Gabriel anyway.
I would say they're similar level. I didn't say.
Oh, right. Okay. Similar level.
Because you said that your friend thought Gabriel was better. I don't think he's better, but I think they're similar level. I think he's definitely not much better than Sanchez or Dyer. I probably would go with one of Sanchez or Dyer over him, to be fair. I think with their experience, I think at the moment they're probably just a bit better than Gabriel. Right back is hard to judge because we got 2 new guys. Emerson, Tomiyasu, you could argue, shown more than Emerson right now, but it's only been 2 games. So it's hard.
And it's against Norwich and Burnley as well.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Emerson had to play against Chelsea and Palace, 2 much more difficult games. So, I don't know. You probably... It's impossible to say.
It is impossible to say.
It's impossible to say. You'd have to be judging it on what they showed for their previous clubs, and obviously Emerson played well for Betis. Tomiyasu played well for Bologna. I mean, I don't know. I don't know who I'd put in a right back. Centre mids.
So you're putting Partey up against Skip.
Yeah,
I
Partey
guess.
gets in there, I think. Maybe not for what he's shown for Arsenal, but I think Partey just gets in there because of the player he is. And then in terms of Højbjerg gets in there on the right-hand side ahead of Smith Rowe. And then I think Ndombele over Odegaard, in my opinion.
Yeah.
As much as I think Odegaard's a decent player, I think Ndombele can do things Odegaard could only dream of doing. Left-hand side...
Son.
Yeah, I think the front 3 is Son, Kane and Saka, probably.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah. So you're saying 3 Arsenal players, potentially 4, depending how the right-back situation goes. Yeah. Saka, Partey and Tierney. And that's it.
That's what I'd say.
Yeah. I completely agree with that. And I think that's exactly what we went for last year as well in the predicted 11.
Is it?
Combined
Is that
11.
the same thing?
That's exactly what I went when I did my combined 11 with Adam last year. Actually, I had Bale in there ahead of Saka, but Partey and Tierney were in there.
Yeah.
And that was it, I think.
Yeah, I don't think because they're putting a lot of pressure. Even with Saka, I think he's a good player. But to be depending, I think that they rely on him so much to be that special player, and he's just not like he should be like, for example, like if you played for like Man City or something, he should be a player like sharing minutes, like on like coming in for like in rotation, like sharing minutes with Mahrez and Sterling, who are better players, but he can like come in and supplement them. But Saka, he's like the main man for Arsenal, and I like he for him to be the main man, he needs to be getting at least like 10 goals, 10 assists or something.
If he was at Spurs, how many minutes would he be getting a season? How many games would he be playing?
sharing that right wing spot with Lucas probably, to be fair.
Yeah.
But the difference with him at Spurs is we've got Kane and Son. I know they got Aubameyang and Pepe, but like I think they're more reliant on Saka than they are on those two.
Yeah, they are. Especially now. I mean, they were over reliant on Aubameyang, weren't they?
Then he dropped off.
Then he dropped off massively since signing that contract. And I told them all as soon as that contract gets signed, expect Alexis Sanchez, or not Alexis Sanchez, who was the one that signed the contract and went completely off the boil. It was Mesut Ozil, that was the one. Mesut Ozil. Expect Mesut Ozil 2.0, and that's exactly what's happened with Aubameyang. I mean, is that what you put it down to? Is it the contract situation?
I think it's the contract situation and the fact that he signed the contract, and then ever since he signed the contract, not only has he gone downhill, but Arsenal have gone backwards. And also, he signed that at 31? He signed that contract? And I think there's an element of Adebayor about that whole thing, because if you remember, he's going into his last year, and just before, there's always talk about his contract, right? About him getting a new contract, and obviously he had a good season, but like at the end of that season, he scored the double in the semi-final for the FA Cup. He got a double in the final. He was really trying to like show them like, give me a contract. I
think he was actually playing for a move. I genuinely thought that, because he was linked with all these hosts of clubs, Barcelona, this one, that one, and just no one came in for him, and then he stalled so long on signing that contract.
He did, even the first game of the season.
That's what I'm saying. He ended up signing it right at the very last second. But I genuinely believe he was stalling, waiting for big clubs to come in for him. That never came.
Yeah, because has Aubameyang played a Champions League game for Arsenal?
No, I don't think he has.
No. Has Lacazette played a Champions League game for Arsenal?
Has any of these lot? Have any of them? Name me one of those that have played a Champions League. I don't think any of them have.
No, none of them. The only one that might have was Bellerin, but he's not there anymore.
No, he's gone. He's playing for Betis now.
None of that 11 we just showed have played a Champions League game for Arsenal.
No.
Trying to remember who was in their squad back then. None of these players were they?
No. The Champions League days at Arsenal are that far gone that none of their current squad have played in the Champions League for them.
Yeah, but I'm saying I remember Lacazette. He said he would only leave Lyon for a Champions League club, and then he joined Arsenal 50 million, thinking maybe it was only a year out of the Champions League, and it's been like 5 years now.
Yeah.
Aubameyang, he came to Arsenal when they were also only 6 months out of the Champions League when he joined, and now they've been 4 years. So
someone says Xhaka, maybe.
Xhaka has, yeah. Xhaka has. That's a fair point. Xhaka played for Arsenal 1 year in the Champions League. So
that's the only one, I think.
So I think I'm not surprised Aubameyang probably wanted to, after 3 years or whatever it was, he's thinking, like, am I ever going to play Champions League football again? Yeah. Like, I need to leave, basically.
He's definitely not now.
Definitely not now. And he's also definitely not getting a move to a Champions League team because of how his form has been since the contract signing, his age, and his wages. All three things contribute to him never getting a move, I don't think, unless he seriously drops his wages. Seriously improves his form.
And he's their captain.
And he's the worst player for them to be captain. The worst player because of his body language when things are not going well, because of his entitled attitude, I feel, when he's on the pitch. I don't know. I feel like his personality doesn't suit being captain for Aubameyang. I think that was the worst thing for them. And also, him on the left, you can't do that anymore. Where he used to play on the left hand side. I think that's with his age. I don't think he can do that anymore. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do on Sunday. But I think if they play that midfield three that we just showed, Partey, Smith Rowe, and Odegaard, that could. I don't know. Maybe Xhaka will play, but
I think Xhaka will play.
But if it's if we can get Skip, Højbjerg, and Ndombele, I would back us to win that midfield battle, because I think last season, if I remember rightly, we played Ndombele, Højbjerg. We played a 4-2-3, and was it Delhi? No, it wasn't Delhi. Who did we play last year when we? Because I remember we got completely overrun in the midfield. We played Bale. I remember we played Bale, Kane, and
It was
Son.
all Bale and Doherty on that right-hand side that screwed us, wasn't it?
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember what exactly, because what midfield three we played. Because I remember it was Ndombele and Højbjerg, but Højbjerg was left high and dry pretty much throughout the game. I'm just trying to remember who was in our.
What was the score?
We lost 2-1. Here we are. One sec. Where's the Tottenham lineup? Oh, we started with Lucas in a 10.
Right.
Lucas in a 10. Bale on the right. Son on the left. Kane up top. And then Son got injured after 10 minutes or something, if I remember rightly. He got injured very early on.
Yeah, he did.
So I think, if we play Højbjerg, Skip and Ndombele, we're going to have a lot more protection in that midfield. We're not going to get bullied. If we don't have Doherty on the right hand side, and we're not going to have Bale, which would be a bad thing, but not having Doherty means they're not going to have that serious weakness they had in our back line, I'm hoping, to really exploit. And if Skip Højbjerg coming up against Odegaard and Smith Rowe, I think they should bully them. I really believe that. They're going to try and take them on, but I really believe they should be aggressive against them, and they should have the tactical nous to be able to not restrict access to it. I'm only worried about Ndombele or Dele up against Partey, because Partey's in good form. We know how good he can be at his best. So if Ndombele does play, I do worry about Partey getting the better of him. But if Ndombele
Can you really
turns
see
up,
Ali not playing though?
I can't. I'm just hoping he won't. But it's unlikely, isn't it, that Ali's not going to play in this game?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a midfield three of, like it was first 3 games of the season, Skip, Højbjerg and Ali. I've got a fear it's going to be that with a lack of creativity in there.
That would be a mistake, I think. I think he will do it, but it would be a mistake. But even Dele, I'm even more worried about him against Partey than I am against Ndombele, because I think Ndombele might get bullied, but I do think at least 2 or 3 times he's going to be able to wriggle away from Partey and do something. I don't have the same thing with Dele. I think Partey would have Dele in his pocket for the whole game. I think off the ball, Dele might be able to pressure him a bit better than Ndombele can. So maybe force him backwards, but I think on the ball,
you never know though.
Ndombele is more likely to come up with something.
You never know. Partey's always doing of that Harry Houdini disappearing act like he did at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium last year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe get an injury,
running off the pitch and letting us score a goal. He's done that before. So I think. Do you think that's where the game's lost and won this weekend? The midfield.
Yeah, because I think the midfield is very important for them. Smith Rowe and Odegaard. Or Xhaka, I think it's very important, because that's where they link the defence and attack. And I think they've come up that formation for the last 2 games. They've been doing okay, and I think if Skip and Højbjerg can really be aggressive against them and show them they're really in for a game and they're not going to have an easy time of it, I think, and they don't like to go back the other way as well, like properly. So I think that could very much be where we get a lot of joy in the centre of the park.
How much does it mean to you? How much does it mean to you, the North London derby? How much does it mean to you going to the Emirates, taking 3 points, having the bragging rights? How much does it actually mean to you?
It means the world. Being Arsenal at the Emirates, because we haven't done it very often, and we just need. It means everything, because first of all, just how much disdain I have for those lot. I can't stand them. Not just that, but with them losing their first 3 games and having the opportunity to overtake us after our game 6, that's just ridiculous. We can't let that happen. We can't let them get in a position where they're above us after being bottom of the league after 3 games. We can't let that happen. That would be so embarrassing, even in the short term. It will be so embarrassing, so we can't let that happen. And I think I think there's no better way to get our season back on track than a good result against Arsenal. That's the perfect way to do it, because it gives the fans a massive lift. It gives us bragging rights. I think it shows the players that maybe we are going in the right direction in terms of how we've been playing in the last few games, with a bit more on the front foot, a bit more creativity, a bit more aggression. So we need to get a positive result on Sunday. We have to do it. And we just have to show them that this temporary 1-0 wins doesn't mean anything when they come up against a proper team. We have to show them that. We have to show them that.
Most definitely.
We don't want to give them any encouragement that they're on the right path.
We need to go there. We need to be at 100%. We need to go at full pelt. We need to be aggressive. We need to give them no second to rest. And if we do that, if we put them under unbearable pressure in the first opening 10, 20 minutes, we have the opportunity to really take this game to them and really bully them, like you say, in the middle of the park. And if we can do that, I really think that I can't see anything but a Tottenham win in this game. If we do that.
If we take the lead, I think with the way Arsenal are going at the moment, their mentality will crumble.
But if they take the lead, with the mentality,
that's a worry, because
if they take the lead with the mentality we're on, can we get back in this game?
That's the worry, and that's what Nuno's worried about, isn't it? That he's been saying before, that he hasn't seen good reactions when we've conceded goals. Apart from maybe against Rennes when we went 2-1 down and we showed a good reaction, but other than that, whenever we've had a setback, we don't react very well. So hopefully, if there's a change in that, we have the tools in the team to turn it around. If we do concede, for sure we have the tools. We just got to keep our heads, and that's the most crucial thing. But I think the first goal could be very, very crucial in this game in terms of mentality for each team. And I know we took the lead last year at the Emirates, but we were never the better team before that
That was completely against the run of play.
Yeah, but if we're on top and we take the lead and we look like we're dominating, the fans will get on their backs. The fans are going to get on the players' backs, and they're gonna be reminded of how they started the season and what things are happening under Arteta, and Aubameyang his head will start to go down, all that kind of stuff. So I think the first goal was so important in this game to get it, and quiet in the Emirates crowd really is, as quiet as already is anyway. So I think that's very, very crucial. But it's going to be a good one. I think both teams are not at their best, but in a way that can make for a better game.
Yeah, could be. Look, I can't wait. I can't wait for the game this weekend, and I can't wait to stick it to the Arsenal fans in the stadium. I can't wait to stick it to their team this weekend. I just have a bit of caution, because a few Spurs fans. I don't know if it's going in overconfident or going in too confident, but with the way the two teams have played this season, I know Arsenal on the back of 2 wins and we're on the back of 2 losses, but I still think we have been, in terms of a footballing side, a lot better than them this season. And, that first half against Chelsea, if we play like we did in that half, we beat this side. We beat this side. I don't care what anyone says. If we play like that in the first half, like we did against Chelsea, we create a lot more than we did against Chelsea. We're gonna press them into submission if we do that, and I cannot wait for it. Crocodiles with the super chat saying, "Did you see Paul Merson's comment on Højbjerg and people saying Sky isn't anti-Spurs?"
I didn't see it, but I did see his comment on Lloris, and he said he said on Lloris that Lloris is one of the most underrated keepers in the league, and in his opinion, he's up there with Ederson and Alisson as best keepers in the league. That's what Merson said on Lloris. I didn't see what he said with Højbjerg though.
I've just got it up here. It says he thinks he's better than he is. So obviously he's got a bone to pick with Emil Højbjerg, and I hope Højbjerg is reading this. I really hope he is, because he's going to read it and he'll take that and use it in a really positive way against Arsenal, and he'll really step up his game, I believe. Højbjerg's just got that mentality about him, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly. So I think with Højbjerg, obviously he showed what an unbelievable midfielder he can be at the Euros, and he started the season in good form as well. So I hope he takes this North London derby by the scruff of the neck. That's what I'm hoping for.
So the actual quote is, "I'm not a great lover of Højbjerg. He thinks he's better than he is, in my opinion. What's brilliant? Finishing 9th or 10th, he has the easiest job in the world. He just sits in front of the back two." I mean, that's pure disrespect from Merson, isn't it?
Come on,
that's
Merson.
Pure disrespect.
He clearly hasn't seen Højbjerg. He doesn't did he see him for Denmark?
I don't know why anyone takes notice of Paul Merson comments anyway.
Yeah,
he just talks crap all the time.
Rubbish, but he just sits in front of the back four. Did you see how far he? Didn't he lead the way at the Euros for chances created and assists at one point? You know what I mean? This guy is an all-action midfielder. He's not. Yeah, maybe at times under Mourinho last season, his job was to simply be the deepest player and sit in front of the back four. But I don't think that's what he's best at. I think we are seeing now the best of Højbjerg is having that license to go forward a bit and support the attack as well as in protecting the back four as well and being taking responsibility in that way. I think he has the fitness and the leadership and the capability to do that. So it's very, very minimalistic to just say that's all he does is just sit in front of the back four. I mean, you've clearly never watched Højbjerg play if you think that. You've clearly never watched him play. So you can't take any notice of that.
Yeah, I completely agree. But anyway, that is our match preview. I want to know your score predictions in the comment section below. I want to know who you think is going to be lining up for Tottenham in the comment section below. I cannot wait, like I said, for the North London derby this weekend. We have to stick it to them. We have to stick it to them. We have to wish that they never cross that divide from South London to North London. We have to send them back to where they came from. But I want to know you guys' opinions out there now. We're going to start taking calls. And yeah, let's go to Sylvester first. Sylvester, how's it going, my friend? You're on mute.
All good, brother. How are you?
Can you hear him?
No, I can't hear him.
Is he on mute our end?
Hello.
Oh, it's not plugged in.
Oh, sorry, one sec, mate. There you go. You alright, Sylvester?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you fine now. How you doing?
Good, brother. Good. How are you doing?
It's the big one this weekend, Sunday, 4:30. What are your feelings going into this game? Do you think we have a good chance of getting a win? You know, haven't beaten Arsenal at the Emirates for since 2010. Is this going to be the year we break that duck?
I just want to, before I tell you my feelings, I just want to know what's the feeling like in your side over there before a North London derby. We are in India, so we have the banter within our friends. What's the feeling like at home over there before a North London derby?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're excited, but obviously very
Nervous, right?
nervous because if we lose this game, that's going to be a massive setback for our season and for us as fans as well. The bragging rights go to Arsenal when after their start of the season, for them to be above us at this stage would be very embarrassing. But there's a bit of excitement because we're playing a bit better in the past couple of games potentially than we had been from an on the ball kind of feeling. I think we have the attacking players to hurt Arsenal, and I do genuinely believe we have a better team players than them. So that's where the excitement comes from. But we just got to make sure we turn up to this North London derby and we don't let the occasion get the better of us.
I don't know why every time we go to the Emirates, no matter what kind of a team we're going in, what form we go in, there's always something that goes wrong on the day. If you remember the Real Madrid in the Champions League, we played so well against them. We were in good spirit. The team was looking good. We thought we were going to go to the Emirates and smash them there, and then we go and get 2 goals. You remember that game?
Which game? Sorry, when we went
After we played Real Madrid.
And then we lost 2-0. Was that when Mustafi scored? Yeah.
And since that time, I've always seen, no matter what form we go in, we always come back. It doesn't happen for us on the day. So let's see. I'm going with a positive frame of mind. If we play like Sim said, if we play how we played against Chelsea.
Oh, is he gone? No,
if
he's
we
still
play
there.
that
He's still
way.
there.
But if we sit back and try to play on the counter, I think the frustration will start building within the away fans, and the home fans will keep pushing the home team on.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I think we have to be aggressive because players like we have to see whether players like Smith Rowe and Odegaard, if they're up for the fight. That's what we have to do, because if we do sit back and a bit too pragmatic and defensive and give them too much encouragement, the likes of Smith Rowe and Odegaard can be very creative on the ball, and they can hurt you. But if you're aggressive against them, if you press them, and put a few challenges on them and see if they're up for it in terms of a battle, I think that's where we can win, because I think we're stronger players, more aggressive, and I don't know if they will be up for that kind of game.
To be very honest with you, there's nothing about this Arsenal team that scares me. Nothing. I don't go there. The only thing that scares me is Tottenham's mentality, the players' mentality when they go. There's nothing about this team that makes me think that they can run over us or something. It's just that if we go with the right mentality, I just feel every time we go to the Emirates, I just feel the players drop their mentality down. They don't live up to the occasion or live up to the expectations of the fans. That's the only thing that worries me. Nothing
Yeah,
else.
it's a strange one, isn't it? Because whenever we play at Tottenham, the mentality always seems to be there. We seem to be spot on, and we really do give them a good game and beat them more times than not. But when we go to the Emirates, it just seems like the players freeze every time.
Exactly.
What is it
The
about it? Why do they keep
I
freezing every year?
what I feel is that when Arsenal come to Tottenham Stadium, they give us a better game than we give them at the Emirates. I don't know if
Hmm.
that's the same feeling. Which I feel like they've at least give us some kind of a game, but at the Emirates we never give them. We haven't been giving them a game for quite some time now, and I feel like the mentality. It's the mentality of the players. I don't think that many of the players know the meaning of the North London Derby, other than a few. Harry Kane, maybe Son, Dali Ali. I think the rest don't Dyer, but the rest don't understand the value of it, what it
But
means to the fans.
But this year we'll have Tanganga in the team probably. He's come through the ranks. He'll know what it means. Ollie Skip, he's
All
going to
is
know what
skip.
it means as well. So maybe this year we're going to have a few more players that knows what it means.
Are you all going for the game to the
Yes, we're
Emirates?
both going, yeah.
Oh, you're going for that. So I just hope this is the game that Harry Kane starts his season.
Well, he's going to get a penalty, that's for sure.
You
That
know, when he's in
every
North
year at
London,
the
of course,
Emirates.
of course, of course. I don't know. I have not been. Actually, I don't have a problem with Harry Kane's performance because I feel like he's putting his body in the line. But I just feel like at the moment his head is still not there. He's performing at his maybe not 100%, but sometimes 75%, 80% he's giving it over there. But his head is still not come around. I think he's a bit broken down. It take him time to get back. But if there's any game that for him to start again, I think this would be the one.
What's your feelings on Ndombele? Played 90 minutes last game, obviously, against Wolves. Do you feel like he's got the fitness to start this one? Do you think Nuno will put his trust in him to start this one?
See, I'll be to tell you the truth. There is no player like Ndombele in our team. There is if Ndombele runs with the ball 7 times out of 10, I believe he'll try and do something. 3 times he'll make a mess out of it, and that's the chances we got to take because we don't have someone to really create for us other than Kane dropping back. And the only way we can have Kane up there is Ndombele playing. I don't see Dali Ali creating. I see Dali Ali just trying to press or defend. That's the most I can see of him. So Ndombele is a player that we need. I'm so disappointed with Lo Celso as well. I don't know what happens to him when he puts on the Tottenham shirt. Some days he's brilliant, and at most he's very bad. What do you think? Do you think? I think Brian Gill should start this game. I really
Yeah.
like the look of it. I
I think
really
it
do.
all
I
depends if
think
Lucas Moura's fit or not.
who's going to be on his side? Brian Gill's side? It'll be Tierney, right?
It depends if he if he plays on the right, it'll be Tierney and maybe Saka or Pepe on the in midfield. But yeah, look, we saw what Gil did when Adama came on, didn't we? He was brilliant
I'll
on
fancy.
Wednesday night.
I'll fancy him against Tierney.
Yeah,
I truly do. I truly do. I think he can beat Tierney. I really do. That's how I would like him to play. I would not. I don't fancy him against Tommy. And I think they are kind of a same, not age bracket, but you know what, build wise, he may be a little bit thin, but I think he can get the better of him. So I would really
interesting.
like him to start. I would really like him to start along with Son and Kane. What about you? Who would you like to start?
Well, would you reckon if Lucas Moura is fully fit, would you still start Brian Hill?
If Lucas Moura can give a performance every 3 games like the way he gave against Man City on the first day of the season, Tottenham will be a different team.
That's for sure.
I truly believe when on his day there is no player like him. He can run past as many as they. So he's not consistent enough. I think Lucas Moura.
Yeah.
He does the hard yards, but he's not consistent enough in his performance. So
Yeah,
if Lucas Moura, and he's been out for some games, right? Lucas Moura, what, 2 games?
2 games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think with Gill after scoring the penalty in the midweek, I think that builds his confidence quite a lot for him to go into the North London Derby feeling confidence enough. So I think he should get the start ahead of Lucas, and Lucas can always be a super sub. He's always done a job being a super sub as well.
All right. What's your prediction this weekend?
I don't have any prediction. I don't like to do predictions, brothers. I just
I don't blame
see
you.
how
I
the
don't
game.
blame you.
Well,
I
tell
don't
us
like.
then how much it mean to you for Sunday to get a good result, and
Oh,
what do you think it means for our
my,
season?
my My best friend is an Arsenal supporter, so everywhere we go, we play PES, we play FIFA. Every time we play a best of three. It's all about which color is London. So every time we, throughout the day we play, and before we go to sleep, we take each other's trip. And he'll be coming to watch the game with me. If we, the day we win, he doesn't like to stay at my home. He has a very bad day. And the best part is I've never come across him when we lost. Every time the North London derby we have lost, he's been away somewhere or the other. He's not watched it with me.
Well,
So,
let's hope you
so
get some bragging rights on
and,
Sunday
and
then.
for and for our season, I really don't. There's a part of me also that feels that every time we beat Arsenal, the fans get so hyped, the players get so hyped, and then you see there's a down. The next game is a bad performance. So
It's
I
true.
believe this is just about one-off game. I won't take anything into the season with this game.
All right.
I remember, what was it, last season? We beat City and then Arsenal, and everyone was so hyped in the next game. That's when we started the bad run, pretty much, just after beating Arsenal. We drew to
Yeah,
Palace, lost to
I was
Liverpool,
seriously
then the bad
talking
run
about winning the.
started.
I was seriously talking about winning the league at one point,
Yeah,
and
and then it all went
had
wrong.
had Bergwijn buried that goal, that chance at Anfield, I really think we'd have had a better season.
Yeah,
We'd
and I
have,
think
we'd
it's
have,
all about Spurs fans keeping their feet on the ground if we win on Sunday. Is that it?
yeah, I'm not feel you can have your bagging right, but you know what? Let's not make it like what we are going to start winning the league again, because every time
Look,
that happens, we have a
look,
negative.
Sylvester, it's feet on the ground, but give Arsenal the most amount of shit that you can give
Yeah,
them.
that's right. That with
Exactly.
them,
Love it.
I'll chat with them, not with the other fan base.
Exactly, exactly. Big up,
So,
Sylvester.
I'll,
Thank you for coming
yes,
on.
you too.
Great call as
You too, brother.
always.
Nice
Take
to see you,
care.
Sylvester.
God
See you
bless.
in a bit.
See you soon.
Yeah.
All right, that's Sylvester. Fans getting hyped up for the North London derby this weekend. Let's bring on the Jorical. Come on, Jory.
Yes, Jory.
Jory, long time no speak. How you been?
Hey guys, I've been good. I've been busy. That's the only reason why I don't call in. Really, it's when I'm
Looking a
out
bit
filming.
smarter today. You got a shirt on. Looking nice.
Well,
It's getting ready for the derby. Look at that blue shirt. I love it.
but I've been dying to speak to you guys. There's so much happened. Really,
We've been dying to hear from you, Jory.
Um, I've heard, yeah, I don't really know where to start. I'll get into the North London thing in a bit, but in general, I just want to actually say that I'm actually very encouraged by what I've seen, even the games that's not gone too well, because everything I seem to be seeing is like I see some real building going on there. I see a real squad forming. I think the whole demeanor in the squad is changed. I was watching Nuno Cam on the Tottenham channel from the game against the Wolves in the League Cup,
Yep.
and just seeing how Nuno interacts, seeing how the players react. You know me, guys. I always want to try and read into the psychology of all the players and all that. And it seems to be getting more and more cohesive, and I really that gives me a lot of hope. Even Kane, I was getting very worried about Kane, to be honest. Even Kane seems to be very responsive and open to Nuno, I think, now. So that, for me, that's huge encouragement. And also the way Nuno seems to prefer to set up, which is a really solid defensive back line, but then a really aggressive forward kind of play, So, and I think that the two actually are not exclusive. I think the two makes perfect sense. The more aggressive you are going forward, the more solid you need to have the back three or the back whatever system you're playing. They need to be really solid. Um, and in terms of that, I really wanna give a shout out to Romero, because he is next level. I know that people think he made some mistakes, and he's still like getting used to of course playing in the league and with the squad and stuff. But the way he reads the play and the way he runs, I tell you
Yeah.
guys, like, look back at these games, and to your fans, look back at these games and see how he will be going like 70 yards from the other side of the, because he's seen where the ball is going to end up, and he'll arrive there right at the right moment. This is what we've needed for so long in our defense, and this is also something that a guy like Romero probably, hopefully, can teach Sanchez, Roden, Dyer, all of them. This is teachable, like reading of the play. And I think you combine Nuno and Romero, I think our defense is maybe up for a big upgrade. So I've been very encouraged. I mean, I think we all kind of have the tendency to forget that we're in the start of a project right now. Which is fine, because when we forget it, it's probably because we see something that's that encouraging that we get ahead of ourselves, and we start thinking of results already. So, but yeah, I think if anybody can kind of fix these players and get them performing at their best, I'm pretty convinced it's Nuno. I've been really encouraged. I have to admit, I've missed like half of games and stuff like that. So
that's why you think it's going so well, because we've only been playing well in certain half of the game. So
yeah, well, but I would say what I've seen and I'm encouraged by is it sounds ridiculous, but it's almost irrelevant what happened in the game. What I've seen is how they work together. And like Romero, I actually started getting a little bit worried about Romero, and now I've seen him in like these couple of last games, and I think the way he moves is exactly what we've needed. Like, he's filling the hole that I always felt like we had with, even when Dyer and Sanchez were playing their best, there isn't that brain in there that sees it, except Højbjerg is that as well, but he's high up the pitch. So I feel like now we basically got a Højbjerg in the defense type guy, So there is a crisis up front a little bit, but I feel like Kane is responding now. I think we've for a long time probably had a little bit of a Kane-Mora situation where the two have kind of, it's either going to be built around a Mora-esque attacking style or a Kane-esque attacking style. What I hope, and I hope I'm seeing correctly, is that Nuno is finding a way to have this super fast, explosive front foot attack with Kane in it. And I actually thought the last game it worked pretty nicely. I could see how that's gonna what's gonna work down the line once they get gelled together. So.
And what about Ndombele? He could have nearly left in the summer. And what do you think of his inclusion back in the side? From what you've seen?
That's the other thing. Is like also he's getting a rise out of Ndombele, and Ndombele really wants to prove something now, which I think is amazing, considering how short it is since he declared that he wanted to leave and all of that. He's already now. He's got something to prove to hopefully himself first of all, but to us and to Nuno, And also, I don't know if you noticed this when Nuno was after the game and he was like saying hi to his former players. Like, that was a real coach. The way the players looked at him, like it was like they were seeing their dad again or something. That's real relationship, And I think Tottenham is we've been through so many kind of bullshit political situations with these players that they're probably sick and tired of the superficiality and the bullshit, and getting like a grounded guy like Nuno that doesn't jump up and scream when we score and doesn't freak out when we lose and all of that. I think that's probably very good for the squad. So yeah, I'm very encouraged, guys. So
I want to know. I want to know from you, Jory, being a Spurs fan from overseas, obviously, maybe haven't witnessed the North London derby firsthand or not. But what does it mean to you, the North London derby, and what does it mean if we were to get a win this weekend?
Well, being a Spurs fan in Iceland, maybe especially, is like we take so much shit from the Arsenal, or have taken through the years, because Arsenal is, I would say, it's the third biggest fan base in Iceland. And I think, and of course the whole London situation, and then like that's bad enough with Chelsea, for example, but when it's on your doorstep like Arsenal, it gets personal, of course. And
Yeah.
I think like what we can now, like, I wouldn't say that I wouldn't say that I feel sorry for Arsenal fans, but also I'm convinced that they have nothing but misery for many years to come. So I kind of feel above the rivalry a little bit right now. But in general, I think it has a big effect. Like you were talking about it, Ben, I think it has a big effect on the squad for sure. So it is important to absolutely go there. Of course, it's important for everybody, but I think, like, if you talk about in the bigger schemes of things, I think it's very important that we do well in these derbies. I think maybe it's a little bit of a godsend that we get this right after the Chelsea game, because the Chelsea game was probably a hard loss for them to take. Especially that, I thought, like, the way we played in the first half of the Chelsea game was great. I mean, it's just best back to basic. It was, get the ball, control the ball, release the ball, move. Get the ball, control the ball, release the ball, move. We did that the whole half. And, it was also to Nuno's credit tactically that he saw that weakness. I knew as soon as we didn't score for the half, I knew it was over. We were going to lose, because I knew there's no way Tuchel is going to leave that hole open for the beginning of the second half. So we had that chance. We weren't clinical enough. It's still the start of the season, guys. We can still make up a lot of ground. We got good points. We don't have amazing points, but we got good points. When we're still in the mix for the places that we were to hope for. But for me, I'm not thinking about that even. I'm thinking about, can we get Undambele working? Can we find finally a proper place for Lo Celso where he will come into his own? Can we make Kane a more like straight out striker in this new system? All these things. Gil, how much of a absolute superstar is he going to become this first season? I think like we found our next son right there, to be honest. Yeah. I think sky's the limit for that guy. I mean, Gil's the kind of player, you take him, you shake him, and you throw him up into the air, and he will always land pointing towards the opposition's goal. That's he's just got it, Brett. He's born that way. He's one of those. So, and we love seeing it. He's very Spurs. I think he's like, I've rarely seen a more Spurs player just arrive Spursy already. Oh, not Spursy, sorry guys, but Spurs Spurs ready. So I'm very happy about him.
Spursy in the positive context.
In the positive context.
There is one, yeah.
Champagne football.
Exactly, in the great words of expression.
So you're saying, obviously the first half against Chelsea was positive and aggressive. I don't know if you saw the game on Wednesday against Wolves. I don't know if you managed to watch it.
Yes, I saw the last half, yes.
Yeah, well, in the first half we managed to play some good football and some like aggressive, but couldn't keep it up. So on Sunday, you saying Nuno should do the same as he did against Chelsea, play that aggressive football, attacking, and then even if we can't keep up, maybe we can be 1 or 2 goals up before we start to lag a bit.
I think I think Nuno's general plan is to start with that high press kind of football and get the goal in, get 2 goals in, and then drop back and sit back and catch our breath and all that, which is maybe a little bit boring. But once we progress into the season, and like Nuno will get these boys in shape, you could the system he's putting out there shows what he expects fitness wise. He's gonna want this for 90 minutes. They're gonna get there, but it's gonna take at least another month, if not two, to get fully up there. I think. But I think in general, this is probably kind of Nuno's MO for this squad, is to go out, high press, get the goals in, and then go more conservative and be more counter, like, not low block, but more defensive, and then hit them on the counter.
And for Sunday, do you start Ndombele and Gil? You start them on Sunday?
Yes, I would say yes. I would actually.
Just before you answer though, but we've just seen on the Sky Sports cameras that Lucas Moura is in training today.
All right.
That's very positive.
Good. Yeah, that's very good news, I think, as well. I think, to be honest, I think maybe with Arsenal, they have so many. You can get them to make mistakes in the defense. So I would love to see like a Gil and Moura in a free roll outside the box, and then I don't know, I haven't lined it up in my head, but we saw that even I can't remember which North London derby it was, but we saw it before with Moura, where he was like constantly teasing them outside the box, and he managed to draw them out and make a lot of space for the for the other attackers. So I think that's probably a good. I can imagine that Arteta is going to be a bit of a low block to start with Arsenal, but you never know especially with Arteta. But I would imagine that it's going to be. Yeah, they're going to be pretty tight in the back, and we need somebody to draw them out, and Moura is amazing at that, I think. So,
do you reckon we even could see Kane back on the left-hand side, like he was against Chelsea?
Maybe. I mean, I think it's interesting. I love to see that Nuno. There's no holy cow in this club for Nuno. Kane can, he's using Kane as a player. I feel like the way Mourinho basically came in, and it's becoming clearer and clearer after he's left, that he basically anointed a couple of players like royalty, and then everybody else was supposed to fit into that, which is all right. I mean, we have some clear and obvious superstars. There's nothing insulting about that, but I think we're not that superstar heavy either in this club. I think it's much better for us to try and build it as a holistic team that everybody works, everybody presses. And Kane, for example, maybe Kane can also just, the whole league is used to Kane in a certain role. This is maybe gonna give the coaches some tactical problems, when he's out on the side. So I think I wouldn't be upset seeing Kane there, as long as it's in that pressing, everybody attacking mode. I think otherwise you need Kane more as a straightforward striker, which I thought we saw now at Wolves. I really liked how. Even though his lack of pace, it wasn't an issue there. Because also, by the way, big up to Dele's pass for the second goal. That was amazing pass there. And if you also talk about Dele, Dele is Dele, but whatever Dele is going to become, he's at least now starting at the right end. He's putting in his work in. He's running more than anybody else on the pitch. The rest will progress. It will come or it won't come, whatever. But Dele is at least putting in the work to make sure that he's going to be the best that he can be for us. So we gotta respect that and and be grateful for that. He is still, like, defensively for sure we're weaker. I actually feel like when Ndombele is fully fit and running, then he is actually a little bit better for us defensively, because he's able to tease more than Dele, I feel. But at least Dele is, like, he's progressing. He's getting better even at the defensive stuff. So yeah.
Jory, just before we let you go, we need a score prediction off you for the weekend.
I'm gonna go with fuck it. Let's just say 4-0.
Come on, that's what I like to hear, Jory. Come on. Big yourself up, Jory. And yeah, look forward to seeing you back on the channel pretty soon.
Take care, guys. Good to see you. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on. That's what's pumped us up. A 4-0 Jory prediction. That's exactly what we love to hear. But there's no more people waiting in the back end. We will be back live pretty soon for the pre-match fan show after the press conference gets released. And you're going to get a host of content coming today and tomorrow in build up to the massive game this weekend at the Emirates. North London Derby weekend. I cannot wait. But thank you everyone for joining us today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.